So today, finally, we got a new Nintendo Direct. Yes, to many people's dismay, it was not a general Direct, rather a game-specific one focused on Animal Crossing New Horizons. This was quite an info dump on this game with some awesome additions that surprised me, as well as further confirmation of some not so awesome things that I wanted to talk about. The event started with a recap of a bunch of stuff we've known about for a while, expanding on things a bit. While you're going to a deserted island, you can still choose the layout of the island as well as where the island is located on the globe. This will affect your seasons. You'll still experience all the seasons regardless of which hemisphere your island is in. They'll just be at different times. And there are certain activities, of course, that are only available during certain seasons. They also said they plan to have certain characters, wandering traveler types, that will also be seasonal, which is cool. When you touch down on the island, you're able to choose where your house, initially your tent, is located. Not only that, but you'll also be able to choose where the homes of other residents are located as well. It's great the NPCs aren't just going to be plopping down wherever they feel like, ruining all your city planning ideas, so that was really nice to hear. They then discussed the multiplayer a bit. You can go to the airport and travel to other people's islands. On a single system, up to 4 players can play together locally at the same time. One player, when you do this, is designated as the leader, and they decide kind of, where the group is going to go, because y'all have to stay on the same screen, and you are able to switch leaders on the fly. And 8 players can play together at once online, and you can also voice chat online through the Nintendo app, of course. That app is something I've hated from day one, mostly because of having voice chat relegated to it, especially after Fortnite proved the Switch is fully capable of voice chat on the system without the app. And with it being 2020, it just amplifies how behind the times Nintendo is on this aspect. But there was something I did like about it here. You're also able to use that app to scan the QR codes for items from past Animal Crossing games and bring them into New Horizons. You can never have too many items in a game like this, so the more the merrier. Oh, and they slipped in there, this is also apparently a survival game now. Everything that inhabits this deserted island is going to try and kill you, it looks like. You have to carry medicine around with you because you may get attacked by bees or other poisonous insects, which could result in, what looks like death to me. They'll probably say you passed out or something, which they've done before, but this seems a lot more dramatic, at least. And we finally got to see more on making this deserted island feel less deserted, turning it into more of a town. Most of the gameplay so far was focused on the deserted island aspect, people living in tents, like animals. So it was great to see more of a deep dive on building houses, expanding them, and decorating them, of course, the stuff people are going to spend hundreds of hours doing. There are just a ton, so many improvements to the customization aspect of the game, tools to help getting things placed just right, so much easier. The Overworld Customization aspect, they made it a point to note that they're not going to overwhelm you with new characters coming to your town. Like I mentioned, you'll be able to decide where to put their houses on the island. You can obviously lay out major buildings, build paths and that between them, but also completely change the terrain by knocking out cliffs and building stairs in their place, or building the ground out into the water. Not just, being able to add a bridge. Of course you can do that, but actually build a full-on grounded pathway across the water you can do. Also, you can become a water bender and just summon waterfalls, apparently. All this stuff is just going to offer a crazy amount of possibilities. Some of the other facilities you'll get access to, shops, a museum. Dude, the fish, the aquarium setup in the museum just looked so good. Really amplified how much of a graphical improvement this game is over past ones. Similarly, when they showed the fully decorated houses, just how many options you're gonna have. It's nuts. And all while keeping that same cutesy art style, just phenomenal. They closed with a frequently asked questions section, and I love the way they phrased some of this stuff. They started with, quote, "Can I play the game with my family on a single Nintendo Switch?" And they're all like, "Yeah, you all get to share the same island." This is some great feature, having this restriction of one island per system. Another, meh. They also confirmed this weird thing with save restores, still saying there are no cloud saves, but they do plan to have some method to recover your save if your system is stolen or damaged. I already did a whole video on this as well as the one island per switch, so I don't want to get too much into it. Just, it's still dumb, and even weirder that they aren't supporting cloud saves but are clearly doing some sort of cloud save on their end, because how else would you be able to recover data on, say, a stolen Switch if they aren't backing up the saves? Some of these choices are just, yeah, only Nintendo, that's what I'll say. There was some good stuff in this section as well. They confirmed Amiibo functionality with both Amiibo and Amiibo cards, allowing you to get those characters on your island. They talked about visiting other people's island. I thought this was kind of funny. With players coming to visit your island, they won't be able to use the island shaping tools like, axes and that, unless you add them to your best friends list. Players on that list will be given permission to make drastic changes to your island. This is definitely sort of a gift and a curse type of situation. It's cool to make this an option, but now people are going to find out who their real friends are. I can see the conversations already. Hey man, you didn't add me as a best friend on your island yet. Yeah, I know. I see that being the start of a fracture in a lot of relationships out there. The only other thing that I didn't like, more so I'm concerned about, is that this game will link in some way with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, giving people the ability to unlock certain items in each game from playing the other. With Pocket Camp being a free-to-play game with microtransactions, I really don't want this to be something where people feel pressured to spend money in Pocket Camp to get items they really want in New Horizons. Might just end up being some small incentives to get players to try out the mobile game, but whenever a mobile game gets tied to a big retail game, I can't help but be a bit nervous. This is something we'll have to see how it all plays out, but definitely will be keeping my eye on that. Overall, I thought this was a pretty great final sales pitch for the game. I'm glad they showed more later game stuff with having more of a town built out and all these customization options you have for doing so, but still, with it being Nintendo, it's like, you gotta have these small things like the one island per Switch, no cloud saves, etc., holding the game back. For many, this stuff may never concern you or bother you at all, but in 2020, there's just no real excuse for not being able to implement these features. I definitely think I want to stress that I believe the positives with this game far outweigh the negatives, though. I plan on picking it up myself when the game comes out. This will really be my first Animal Crossing since the original on GameCube, so I'm kind of excited, and I'll surely be doing a video more with my full thoughts. But from what we've seen so far, despite the flaws, it seems New Horizons is really taking Animal Crossing to the next level with tools and options that are going to let people who already get insane hours out of these games even more playtime out of this one, and I can't wait to see all the crazy towns and houses people are able to build. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct in the comments. Are you planning to pick up the game a month from now? And what do you think about all the stuff we learned about today? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this discussion of the Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter, @JohnnyZakari, and join my Discord, ChiGuy and Friends, link to both in the description below, and as always, thanks for watching.